So I did it again, guys.
Did
I
what?
bought this
What?
really cool. I bought this really cool shirt. It
Oh,
says
it's sick.
disobedient cunt.
I love
It,
it.
it was a $4 TikTok buy.
Hmm.
Um, it's a women's shirt.
Again,
It's not a crop top. It's just a women's shirt, though.
again.
Again,
But like, what makes it a woman's shirt?
it's
Yeah, like
like
how do you know it's a woman's shirt?
because I put it on, and it was like the little slim fit with like the sleeves like all the way up and like super tight, and like it's like a deep V, but it's not a V neck.
Oh, hell yeah. That's a gym shirt.
Deep V, it's not a V-neck.
I told my wife and I was like, I did it again. She's like, do you fucking read anything before you buy it? I'm like, no. It's still probably gonna happen many more times.
Yeah, well, you have 2 more weeks to do it again, so you have a shirt for every day of the con.
I was just gonna say that's your second shirt that you can wear as the merch slut.
Oh man.
Because you already have your other, you already
Yep.
have your cropped for Bride of Frankenstein
Yeah,
flannel.
it's gonna be a little chilly, so maybe I could wear this under the crop top.
There
Maybe,
you
and then
go.
if you get inside and it's hot, you can just take the flannel off.
Yeah.
Accessorize.
See, now you're thinking. This is why you're Professor Crystal.
Yes, that's me.
Hello. Do you want to play a game? There'll be food and drink and ghosts, and perhaps even a few murders. You're all invited.
Welcome to another episode of House of Ghouls Horror Movie Podcast. I'm your host, Ian VanGhoul, joined as always with my best friends and co-hosts, Crystal and Colby. What's up, friends? How we doing this week?
Hey guys.
Good.
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 Well, if you don't follow us on social media,
Fucking do it.
yes. That was like the crowd saying it. That was awesome.
That was a good one.
Fucking do it. Instagram, Facebook. If you're listening to the audio portion, hit that 5-star rating. Leave us a little review. Tell us how much you love us or whatever.
Tell us
hit
like
that 5 stars.
just hit a 5-star and write I went to prison school with Colby. That's all you don't
Yeah.
gotta write a review. Just say I went to prison school with Colby.
That's it. Someone needs to do that. I want to see it this week. But yeah, 5-star rating. Merch, goreclown.com. Go check it out. Get some merch.
Get
Again.
some merch, baby.
Yeah.
Get some
Listen to
merch.
die. Crystalception.
Oh my god, I look like Beavis and Butthead. You know what I'm
Yeah.
My
talking
head's-
about? Where they put their shirt for their
I
head
need
like,
more TP.
like that.
More TP for the bunghole.
That's what
Hell
I
yeah.
felt like.
And listen, there's only 2 weeks. 2 weeks until Days of the Dead in Chicago. So you still have time. Make your arrangements, buy your tickets, come hang out with us. November 21st through the 23rd. Our merch has arrived, so we will be there with merch. It's official. Everything we need is good to go. So we will definitely be there. We'll be hanging out all 3 days. So come see us, come hang out, and just fucking do it, you know?
I might be there.
Colby might be. He might be cozy Colby.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm fucking tired. I'm
In
gonna
his
sleep
crop
on the
top.
couch.
He'll be under the table just taking a nap. Where
Might be
Colby at?
drunk.
Down there.
with his crop top on.
Yeah, fucking the crop top. So this week is a very special episode. We're not doing news or physical media. We're not doing any of the kind of other mini topic things that we do every week because this week we are talking to two very special, very important. I tried to put both those words together. It didn't work out.
It's important.
Supporting.
Ooh,
We're talking to
supporting.
two very important people in the horror genre, in the horror world. And honestly, it's 2 people I never expected that we would ever get a chance to talk to. So, first of all, if you have not seen Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon, stop this right now. Go find it.
Fucking do it.
Go watch it and fucking do it.
Fucking do it.
The movie fucks.
It really does. It's been one of my favorites for a very, very long time. And I have this love for this movie. and it resonates into, you know, the people who created it. So we are talking to the writer David Stieve and Leslie Vernon himself, Nathan Baesel. We get to sit down, talk with them. It's just fucking awesome. So without further ado, enjoy our conversation with Nathan and David.
The boy murdered Silas, buried his body in the fields, and dragged Molly from the house, hanging her in the farm's apple orchard.
I'd love to go back to the beginning. And Dave, since you wrote it, I'd love to know how this story came about. Like, where did the idea for Behind the Mask come from?
Nathan, do you want to answer that one? Do you want to crack at it, or?
So Stevie was frustrated, writerly frustrations, and he got a call from his dad checking in, doing his regular check-in on just how things are going, which anybody who's been in Hollywood for a little while knows that it's when are you moving back home is the actual question. And it got him thinking about because he had Halloween going on in the background, which is his go-to. It's his like white noise uh, uh, movie, and he had a fleeting thought. What I wonder if Michael Myers ever had these thoughts of like just struggling, just trying, striving, you know, but you know, still engaged in the hustle. He hadn't made it yet, but he's working hard, and that, you know, thought kind of bled over into I wonder if what does Jason Voorhees do on Saturday the 14th? You know, like what do these guys do when they're, you know, it's not the moment. It's the moment before the moment or the moment after the moment. You know, what are these guys like in those moments in between? And the writing of that brainstorm actually happened pretty quick. I think it was about 10 days it took to complete the script, the first draft of it anyway, and the rest of it was getting the hustle of the movie made. But how did I do, David? Did that kind of sum it up?
Yeah, I mean, you nailed it. It was a straight up existential crisis of am I doing the right thing with my life? And then um, I think that is the reason it does resonate. Even 20 years later, the film still resonates because really through no conscious choice of my own, I just tapped into sort of a primordial vein of storytelling that it's a metaphor for anyone who's trying to do something artistic, anyone who's trying to do something that's not the normal thing you do. It could be sports, it could be trying to be a lawyer or go to college for the first time, anybody in your family, or be an actor or a musician or anything that you're sort of not meeting the expectation of your life. That's Leslie Vernon. Leslie's chosen something really hard to do with his life. And Nathan's got it absolutely right. It was me reflecting on that and thinking, God, I wonder if a slasher killer ever had a moment of doubt and like, should I just go back and be an insurance salesman? And that's how it happened. So I think, like I said, it resonates because so many people can identify with that. Anyone who's struggling to be a young creative or artist, I think sees the struggle reflected in Leslie.
When you wrote this, did you already know Nathan when you wrote this?
No, he's just heard me answer that question so many times over 20 years that I just like to throw him under the bus every now and then and make him answer it. No,
So Nathan auditioned then for this role?
yeah.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
I was the actor hustling in Hollywood trying to get a gig, and I'd never had a film before, and so I was least likely candidate to helm a project where the character is going to have 75 to 80% of the screen time. But I did a decent enough job. They cast me in the role, and boom, there you go.
Yeah,
Decent
the
is a
beauty of
very
it,
understatement.
the,
Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, the beauty of it, well, is that I mean, once I got the script to Scott Glosserman, like, credit where credit is due. Scott willed this film into existence, just sheer force of determination. And we were going through the interview process. I think, not Nathan's right. He was a bold choice. It was not the prototype we were thinking of. It certainly wasn't what I was thinking of when I wrote the character. But honestly, Scott had never directed before. He didn't know what the hell he was doing. I'd never written a movie that had gotten this far before. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. So it just, everything about this beautiful little project, just it came together. I don't know how to describe it. It's just like it was sheer fate. And I think what Nathan did subsequently was to add a layer to the role that really wasn't in the script. I mean, the script was written to be like an automaton, Kane Hodder type stuntman actor. And he was just going to be sort of the guy who was just going along and showing Taylor the ropes. And Nathan brought something to it that I didn't intend there to be sort of a love story chemistry type of a thing between Leslie and Taylor, at least not in the initial draft. But the chemistry between Nathan and Angela, the quirkiness that he brought to the role, it was so completely unexpected that Scott was sort of wringing his hands. Like, do we go with the safe choice, the big stuntman guy, or do we go with this Nathan Baesel? Like, what do we do? And
I had kind of a pitch
really
session. Like, I basically had to pitch myself to Scott. He was wringing his hands. He called me one afternoon, wringing his hands, going like, "This is the situation. I've got one guy, and the route that I go with this guy is obvious, and then I've got you." And I don't know what that film looks like, but it's interesting to me. And so basically I had to spend, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes convincing him why my route was the better route to go. I don't know
I mean, yeah,
if
it's road
he
less
made the right
traveled, right?
choice, but that's how it went.
Obviously, it was a fantastic choice because the energy, the charisma you brought to this role, like it's legendary. And I think it's what's made Behind the Mask the cult classic it is a huge part because of you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it just feels like your character, what you brought to it, it was so seamless. And the line delivery of Leslie was there. There's so many moments that would catch me off guard every time I watch it. There's one scene in particular that I know has been spoken about before in interviews and things about lines and the turtle scene. It just makes me laugh so hard because you pick up the turtles and you say, "I only keep animals that I could eat," and I was like, as soon as I heard that line, I was like, this is a different kind of movie. This is a different kind of movie that I'm gonna be kept on my toes the entire time I'm watching it. So
I like not being in control. That's fun to me. It's fun to have to be forced to surrender by the people and the circumstances around me. And this film really lent itself with that documentary format to have a lot of stuff to play with and to keep me on my toes.
Yeah, with the more kind of comedic one-liners and things like that, were they in the script or did that come straight from you, Nathan?
No, it was all in the script. Yeah, everything that people are delighted by, with maybe one exception.
Yeah, one big exception.
One that Paradise Lost found it. That was not in the script, but yeah,
So
everything else is in the script. And so for me, as an actor, I feel like, well, it's kind of cheating. I know that people pick up on the I don't know, responsiveness or the sense of uh, I don't know, play about it. But it feels like for me that was all embedded in the script, and so it was just s- using the script and then playing with the people that were there for me to play with. Angela was a great playmate. Ben and Britt, who were oftentimes not on camera, but always there on the other side of the camera for me to, have some banter with and some back and forth with. Yeah, it was all the toys to play with were given to me.
You know what? There's that kind of reminds me. I've actually never spoken about this specific thing in an interview before, but just talking about the comedic moments and the beats and the stuff that's in the script versus actor delivery. The spot that I'm always most pleasantly surprised when it gets a reaction, it doesn't always. Is this? There's a scene after Leslie's gotten after the library. The Halloran has appeared. The Ahab has appeared in Leslie's life, and they're running around outside, and Leslie's super excited. We got an Ahab. Did you get the guy? Did you get the guy? And I had written in the script that Taylor says, "Yeah, we got him. We have an Ahab," and she's like, "What's an Ahab?" And it was supposed to be like her being sort of an inquisitive sort of reporter, like, you have to tell me what an Ahab was. And Angela's delivery on that line, if you haven't really taken the time to really pay attention to it, it makes me genuinely smile and laugh every single time. Her delivery on what's an Ahab is all Angela. Like, that's just a really cool comedic character choice that fits perfectly well. And I think it speaks to what Nathan was talking about, is that they were just able to play on set. Yeah, the script was there, the blueprint was there, the safety net was there, but they were shooting on digital video, so it wasn't like we were burning film. So they could just do stuff over and over again. And I wasn't there for that particular. I don't know how many times you shot the Ahab outside the library scene, but it's a blend, I guess. I mean, ultimately, I put down what I can on the script, and then I kind of I liken it to you sort of send your kids off to college, right? You raise your kid the best you can, and you send them off to college, and you hope that you did the best you could, and you hope they're going to make smart choices. That's kind of what it's like for a screenwriter. You write the script and you do the best you can, but then you hand it over to the director and the actors and the editor, and you just sort of hope that it keeps its inner core and it's true. So, but long-winded way of saying, the comedic stuff, I think, was some of it was written, but the actors' delivery and the chemistry between Nathan and Angela and Ben and Britton, everybody was outstanding.
I
love that. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I love the way that you put that, because I never actually really thought about that. That as a screenwriter, once you're done writing, it's in someone else's hands.
Yeah,
that's really such a cool kind of insight I never thought of.
And I love that you brought up that after the library scene, because the first time I watched this movie, that's when I noticed Leslie, like, just the amount of energy that Nathan brought to that character when he's running around freaking out about the Ahab. I was like, I fucking love this guy.
But he's a killer, though, man. You're not supposed to love him. That's the trap.
They're always just misunderstood. That's all it is.
We're surrounded. Look at the walls behind us, sir. We love our killers.
Yeah, I want to give you all props, because like, this is such a unique movie, and even 20 years later, nothing has come close to being what this is, where it's a meta slasher mockumentary that turns into a pretty serious slasher with a look behind the curtain of our slasher, with who's like likable. Like, I love Leslie Vernon. He's hard not to like. And that
way ahead of its time for 2006, and way ahead of its time for now, I think, even.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. The horror genre has shifted, and culture. Horror is sort of a reflection of culture, right? So it's sort of a reflection of the zeitgeist, and it's hard to put your finger on. Well, at least for me, it's kind of hard to put my finger on where horror goes next. I don't know. Maybe it's cyclical, and we kind of go back to more standard. I don't even know. I'm not even going to venture a guess, but I think that it was important for me as the film was being shot, and then in the post, sort of the last 20 years of reflecting back on it. I'm always in awe of how much the metaphor still holds up, and it's still timeless. Like you say, it was ahead of its time. I don't know. Maybe it was just out of time. Maybe it was just timeless. It's just a story of an artist's struggle. I know I've said that before, but I think that, you know, a good performance and good chemistry between the cast, that's always gonna have staying power forever and ever and ever.
Absolutely. And as you can see from our backgrounds, we love physical media and merch and masks. So I got to ask, is there ever going to be a Leslie Vernon mask available to purchase?
Yes.
Yeah, Trick or Treat Studios made a really great um, recreation of it. I don't know if they still
I've never
pro
seen that.
Oh, we gotta
produce it,
find
but
it.
Yeah.
it's out there. Yeah,
We gotta
they
find
also did
it.
a foam scythe, which was convenient
Oh,
for
cool.
convention appearances because you can't really bring a scythe with you on
Yeah,
flights.
right.
Um, but yeah, they did a great job. There's been some really cool merch out, and you know, I'm continually impressed by the artistry of the fans out there because I just saw a painting the other day of
Oh my
um,
God,
of are you gonna bring something out?
like little Funko Pop.
Yeah,
Oh
Oh,
my
yeah,
gosh, Ian. Ian
yeah,
Ian
yeah.
loves Funko
We got
Can't
Pop.
get
Pop.
into,
Those are his favorite. Well,
that's
some
amazing.
he likes a lot of physical media, but
but this is just fan made. I mean, it was one of, you know, like the blank slate Funko Pop, and
That's so
Mhm.
cool.
oh, that is so
and then
cool.
and I dug this stuff
Oh,
out. Like there
he's
was
bringing it
another
all out for you guys. This is yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
there
There's
was
God.
a
that one.
little Taylor doll.
Oh my
I
God.
believe that paint is glow in the dark too.
That's amazing.
Well, I'm not gonna turn the lights
I was
off,
gonna
but
say, gotta turn the lights off now so we can see.
but yeah, there's so much fan merchandise and fan generated art. It's fantastic. I really kind of freaked me out the first time, like 2007 maybe. I got an email, like I think it might have been like still MySpace at that time or something. I don't know, but I got like a message from a guy named John Iverson. I hope he doesn't mind that I'm shouting him out. So he got a tattoo of Leslie on his calf. And I was just like, dude, somebody tattooed Nathan's face on their body. Indirectly, I guess, but still, it was just like, holy crap! Like that was the first sort of slap in the face to me, where it's like, wow, this isn't just another horror film that, you know, had a little flash in the pan and then sort of, you know, goes away. Like I just feel like that was the first moment where I thought we were really tapped into something that was going to stick around.
That's one of the questions I was going to ask is how many tattoos have you guys seen?
I've seen a bunch. I've even autographed
And then they
under
go tattoo it.
somebody's, and then they go and tattoo the autograph on.
That's
That's
cool.
amazing.
That's some serious commitment.
I mean, I just wanted to have your autograph handy, Nathan. What do you got to like?
Call him out.
It's just a little much.
Was there any point during shooting where it like clicked where you guys were like, I think we have something big here?
Yeah, for sure. Well, I'm throughout the whole thing.
Mhm.
I mean, just reading the script, it just felt like this script is so clean. The math works. It's just so rare as an actor that I would read a script that feels like this is paint by the numbers. It's all done for you. Everything's there. It's a great idea. The concept is complex, but not overly complex. Not it doesn't reek of writer, you know. It's really just there to be spoken, and if we can just speak it into being, then that fantastic idea will kind of do all the heavy lifting for us. We just got to not screw it up.
Mhm.
Um, and so I think everybody was really motivated by that fact, and the fact that we had built it was a great team. You know, everywhere you turned was people who were really passionately on board with not just, you know, making a movie and cashing a paycheck, but making a pretty fucking cool thing, you know, and having a great time doing it. It was
I was going to say, I think it sort of crossed over for me when I was on the set for, you know, portions of the shooting. I had a real job at that point, so I couldn't get to Portland But I got to go up, and Scott and I were doing a lot of like guerrilla writing, like the night before shooting scenes, because we originally written that there was a silo, and all of a sudden we're like, well, we don't have a silo, so we better change this scene. And we're doing this stuff like in the hotel room at like 2 a.m, call times like 8 a.m, right? And I think I remember there was a moment we were shooting in the courthouse, and Robert Englund was there. And we'd already we knew we had Scott Wilson, of course, and Zelda was on board, and it was just like this sort of surreal moment where I think it when you have Robert Englund on a set, and you have Kane Hodder doing a cameo, and you have all these people, these luminaries, like there was a point somewhere in there where I sort of, even in my naivete, realized like this doesn't happen every time with a low budget indie horror film, and none of us have ever done this before. Like we're not trying to shoestring this together, to get it into a festival somewhere and hope that maybe, our parents like it. Like this was something legitimizing about, I guess, having Robert there. And I know there was another moment too where Scott was, we were shooting the library scenes, and Zelda and Robert are both there. And Scott kind of pulled me aside at one point. He's like, is this really happening? Am I directing Robert Englund and Zelda Rubinstein right now? And I'm like, yeah, dude, focus. But it was like, there were moments where it was like, those were the moments, is what I'm trying to say. Those are the moments I'm like, holy crap, like this is going to get attention. And they were so good too. It wasn't like Robert didn't just show up and mail it in. And, Zelda did what she needed to do to be this over the top, exposition dump kind of a character. And I don't know, just everything came together.
Yeah. I love the fact that Robert is in it, and Scott, and Kane for a minute, like it is great. But the fact that that you got Zelda in the movie is like, that was probably the first thing that stood out. The very first time I watched it, that was like the first person I recognized really was like, that's the lady from Poltergeist. Like, this is fucking awesome. And she just stands out so much in that movie. And the fact, like we've talked about it numerous times before, like there's a lot of indie movies that get big stars that aren't that great. They don't turn out very well. But yours is one of the rare ones where you have a lot of big names in the horror world, and it works, and they play the parts that they need to play, and it's not just a big name on a poster. Like they're all there for a reason, and it works. And it's just another one of the many reasons why this movie is so fucking good.
I have to share my funny Zelda story. I was working at a talent agency at the time. I was an assistant at a talent agency, and I told my boss, like, I'm going up to Portland, we're shooting, and Zelda Rubinstein's part of it. And he had represented Zelda at one point earlier in her career. And he's like, well, you got to watch out for Zelda. She likes younger men. And I'm like, okay, that's funny. He's like, no. Like, he was like, hand on the desk. Like, no, I'm serious. She likes younger men. She will hit on you. And I'm like, all right, whatever. I'll cross the bridge when I get to it. And I get on the plane. And we're shooting in Portland, and we're shooting the library, and it was a night shoot, and like it's late, and Zelda was no spring chicken, I mean, she comes in, she gets on the set, and she has this assistant with her who's this like super handsome, hunky, like sort of 20-something guy, like sort of vaguely like I don't know, like Latino handsome, like, and he's like waiting on her, pushing her around in her wheelchair, cause whatever. And Scott's like, just keep her busy, keep her awake, keep her entertained, because we're they're doing light changes and all this stuff. And I'm like, oh my god, what am I gonna do? So I'm sitting there talking to Zelda, and I'm reaching for anything to talk about, like any small talk, and I'm running out of material. And I just start like going off on some tangent about like I'm a pretty good cook, and like I like to make spaghetti, and I'm talking about like what kind of spaghetti I make. And she's sort of like not paying attention to me, and she's digging around in her purse. And she's like starts writing something, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm losing her. Like, I have one job, and I'm not entertaining Zelda. What? And she sort of lets me talk myself out. She's like, well, I love that you're a really good cook. You should come over sometime and make spaghetti for me. And she hands me, I kid you not, a 3x5 index card with her phone number on it. So
That's amazing.
You go make her spaghetti.
I have. No,
Baked
Crystal,
spaghetti.
I never did.
Please tell me you still have that.
It's one of my most prized Hollywood possessions. Is a 3x5. It's got Zelda with her number on it, and it's just like
That's amazing.
yeah, no.
He pulls it. It's like in a frame. He pulls it out. He's like,
Oh,
actually,
yeah.
I would have framed it.
I would have put it right with the
No,
Poltergeist poster. Absolutely.
No, she was such a good egg. She really, I mean, again, like like you were saying, to have those people involved. And Scott Wilson too, rest his soul. He was, just more than great, and became significantly a mentor and a friend to me. And I miss him a lot. I miss him every day.
Absolutely. Speaking of Scott, I do have a question. According to the internet, Scott's character is really Billy from Black Christmas. Is there any truth to that?
Confirmed.
Just another reason why I love this fucking movie.
So here's a little deeper dive for you, which Ian, you earned this one. Is that it's also alluded to because Eugene says, back in the day, you did a lot. You hit a place and you moved on. You weren't like a recurring thing like Jason or Michael. And yeah, it's definitely implied that he's Billy from Black Christmas. But in one of the scenes when they're like at Eugene and Jamie's house, I always forget the model of the car, the yellow
Evil Dead car.
Man, it's like John Carpenter's car, or no, you know what I mean? Like, anyway, in the window, in the back seat window of the car is a toolbox. So I'm just gonna let that sit there.
Fair enough.
Maybe he was more than just Billy, is what I'm saying.
Okay. I see what you're putting down there. Was it supposed to be Sam Raimi's car from Evil Dead?
Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Because apparently that pops up a lot. Apparently that is a very common car that pops up in quite a lot of horror films. It comes sort of like it's like the Star Wars Scream, right? It's like the car is like the new recurring thing. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think Sam finds a way to get it in every one of his movies somehow.
Yep.
So yeah, that's awesome. I love that.
I liked all the Shining references throughout the movie. There's so many. Like with the there's little toy bricks, the blocks. They said red rum, and then when the camera pans back, it spells murder, and all the stuff. I was like, The Shining.
That's a good eye, Crystal. Not a lot of people see that one. That's a good
I saw
eye.
it.
Yeah.
I had to go back, and I was like, those, because I noticed that the letters changed, and I was like, what are these saying? And I saw that they were switched.
And the music playing while he's putting his makeup on.
The music that's playing, because I love The Shining. So anytime that I can see any kind of reference, and there was a couple more, I can't think of them at the top of my head, but I just remember the one with the
Halloran
blocks.
and Doc. So Doc and
Mm-hmm.
Halloran are both sort of borrowed. Yep. I can't.
Red Rabbit.
The funny thing is that.
Oh, the Red Rabbit thing. Yes, yeah, the Red Rabbit. Yep. Wasn't that the?
So Scott did his dissertation. Scott Glosserman did his dissertation on The Shining. Like that was his. Like that's his. And it's my second favorite horror movie behind Halloween. But so yeah, there's plenty of Easter eggs like that in there that just born out of sheer love for the genre and all these films.
So this next question, I think it'll be a good segue into our second half. But so this released in 2006. It was kind of a weird time because video stores were like where I got all my indie horror, saw everything. It was kind of a weird time for video stores and everything. They were kind of near its end. If you guys released it in this day and age, do you think that this would be a lot bigger than the cult following it already has? Because with like the social media pull and everything.
Maybe Nathan can.
Maybe it would get shared more, but I also think we'd be competing against attention spans. And
I think it would.
I don't know that
it would have been dumped on Netflix and forgotten about, and I think
is true.
Fewer people would have seen it.
The TikTok attention span, the brain rot.
Yeah,
Definitely not wrong.
And the movie, I think, has some liveliness to it because of the documentary format, but it doesn't have the not for any lack of trying, it doesn't have the gore factor that I think folks are used to nowadays. And so, yeah, I think it would just be a little washed out
Yeah.
in today's standards.
I think Nathan's absolutely right. I think there's something sort of fundamentally, how do I say it? The prototype slasher film victim has changed so much
Mhm.
that Behind the Mask was really at the tail end of the, we were, I was raised and grew up on the 80s. We had Nancy Reagan and Just Say No, right? We had Mothers Against Drunk Driving. We had Tipper Gore and her explicit lyrics. Like, it was the birth of the moral majority. It was all about slasher victims then. They were puritanical warning tales. It was a don't drink, don't do drugs, don't have sex. And that, I think we caught the tail end of Leslie being able to sort of deconstruct that or use that with the Stoners and the Virgin and all that stuff. I don't think if it had come out later, I think it would have been, we would have missed the boat. I think that
Mhm.
the ship had sort of already sailed even in 2007 and 8. The puritanical sort of flush of like, if you have sex, you're gonna get killed. Like that didn't hold up anymore. Like viewers had gotten too smart, even by 2007, 8, 9, 10 for certainly, that it wasn't about, oh, well, if you have sex, you're gonna get killed. That ship had sailed, and I think that it had been supplanted. I think kind of by like we know the rules, so now we need you to shock us. We get it. We know what's coming. You need to trick me. You need to surprise me. And I think that sort of led to a lot of the the Saw and the Human Centipede and the like the Ring and things like that were a different take on it. But everyone was looking for something else. And I don't think that had Behind the Mask come out even 2 or 3 years later, I don't think it would have. I don't think we'd be sitting here talking to you guys today.
That's fair. Yeah, I think I feel like it came out exactly at the perfect time
Agreed. Mhm.
for everything that you put in that movie. I think it works perfectly.
Mhm.
But it also doesn't date itself either, because I could watch it today and it doesn't feel like I'm watching something from 20 years ago. So it is kind of timeless, but I think it came out at the perfect time.
But I think it also, when I was, this is a bit of a tangent, but when I was trying to get introduced to classical music, I was going to Juilliard at the time, and I had suite mates in my dorm who that's what they did all day long, all day, every day was play and listen to and delve into and pull it apart classical music. And so I felt like my way in, my best way in was going to be asking these people, my friends, what's your desert island disc? What's your desert island recording? And give me your top five. And I feel like a reason why our film has continued to have relevance is because people who love this movie, because they pulled it off the shelf without anybody telling them what this is or what, they just gave it a shot because they were looking for something on a Saturday night, and it hit all of their sweet spots. These people share it with somebody that they know and love. And knowing that this person knows and loves this movie and I know and love them, I think that's how it has continued to have the life that it's had and why it continues to be a thing.
Mhm. Yeah,
How do you?
absolutely.
Yeah, I always want to ask, like, if you don't mind, I have a question for you guys. How did each of you discover the film?
Ooh, I'll go first.
Fam. Okay, you go.
So I had heard about the film. I
And
had
like,
never watched it.
What year are we talking about? Like, what year are we talking about?
Oh, I want to say maybe 3, 4 years ago. I had
Wow.
seen it, but I didn't watch it. I'm gonna save myself here though. Okay. So then a few weeks ago, Ian had reached out to me, and it kind of reminded me what Nathan was saying, how people show this movie to the people that they love and that they want to see this movie, and that's exactly what Ian and Colby did for me. Was they said, Crystal, have you seen this movie? And I was like, I've never watched it before. I know about it. And they were like, you need to watch this movie. You're going to love it. So of course I trust them. And that's kind of just going back to what you were saying, Nathan, about how this film, I didn't find it, I knew about it, but I was told, like, by my best friends, like, you need to watch this movie because you're going to love it.
Yeah,
So,
and by extension, you're going to love me. You're going
yeah.
to know me better, and you're going to
Yeah.
love me more. I think it's been a love note that's been passed on
Hmm.
from relationship
Mhm.
to relationship.
Hmm.
It was, I think, 2006 or 2007 when I was in high school. I rented it from Family Video because I thought the cover was cool and I really liked the mask that Leslie Vernon had. So that was still the time where you got to like pick what you want to rent just by the cover art, and Leslie Vernon was one of those.
Yeah,
Wow.
we had a money shot.
Mhm.
It turned out, the silhouette and the fog, and the
Mhm.
scythe, and it we were we were the first theatrical release for Anchor Bay. We Anchor Bay had been trying to transition from DVD and videotape rental and sales to theatrical distribution, and um, we we I mean, it was a lot of hustle and everything, but we got a great deal, and they put us out there in a way that could grab somebody's eye just walking down the aisle. It would have them reach out and grab the thing off the shelf. Um, yeah, we we were the first release theatrical for Anchor Bay, but shortly after us was Hatchet, which they're on their 15th film now. So
I do love Hatchet.
Yeah,
we
do
live and
love
learn.
Hatchet as well. Um,
Love
yeah,
Hatch.
mine's similar to Colby. Were you guys in Fangoria like right after
Yeah,
release? Okay,
yeah. A couple times. Fangoria
okay,
was great to us. Dread
Yeah.
Central, Bloody Disgusting. Like, yeah, and yes, we were.
okay. Because I remember seeing a picture of Nathan as Leslie Vernon, probably in a Fangoria, and just that image. I was like, what is this? And then I also pretty much lived at Family Video during those years as well. So when I came across the DVD, I was like, oh, absolutely, and rented it, and it was game over from there. Absolutely fell in love with the movie, and I don't know how many people I've recommended it to, but it's a lot over the past 20 years. Absolutely love it.
Anytime somebody asks for an underrated slasher, my go-tos are Behind the Mask and The Hills Run Red.
Mhm.
Wow.
And I think a part of the reason why it's continued to have the life it's had too is because a majority of times that the recommendation is extended, the person who ends up watching it ends up having a good time, and they go from a place of like, I have never heard this movie before, and therefore it's not worthy of my attention because I've never heard of it before, right? That's the assumption, but a majority of times they walk away being like, that was a really good use of my time.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised that I've never heard of this thing before. Having something in your back pocket that's just a little gem that very few people know about or possess. I mean, that's money for horror fans anyway.
Yeah, and
Mhm.
I think it coming out when it did too. When you tell a horror fan who's never seen this movie before, like using me as an example, when I was like, "Oh my God, this came out in 2006. How have I not seen this movie? What am I missing out on?" So I feel like that's how I felt when I watched it, and I feel like that's how other people would feel too. If they don't know what the movie, if they never heard about it before, they would be like, how have I not seen this movie before? It's been out for so long. And I think that really entices it too. It gets them excited
Yeah,
Mhm.
about it.
and
So,
feeds that kind of hopeful sense in all of us, I guess, that
mhm.
there's fantastic stuff out there
Mhm.
that we haven't seen, that nobody's seen, and I'll find it, There's
Yeah, it's
still
sort of like
great
it's
stuff.
like
I'm still gonna get, surprised by some. I'm just gonna get totally bitch slapped by a movie one of these
Yeah,
days that I've
exactly.
I
never
mean,
heard of, that
it's the
nobody's
same.
ever heard
And
of.
then you look at the release year and it's like 2006 and you're like, what?
And it's like it's the same dynamic kind of as when you discover a band for the first time that nobody else has heard, or you
Yeah.
discover a restaurant that no one's eaten at yet, and let a hole in the wall place. Right. And I think the reason I always want to ask that whenever I get the chance, and I'm always just blown away by it, is like that between the three of you guys, that's almost like a 16, 17-year spread of when you saw it first. And well, two things about that. One, I always want, whenever I get the chance to, speak to the fans, we can't even begin to say thank you enough. And there's just no way we would be sitting here talking to you guys if it hadn't been for, Ian, people like you saying, you guys putting it on lists and saying, Colby, like saying this is this movie you haven't seen, like all of our longevity, all of it is because ground root fan support of indie horror. Like we've never gotten any kind of huge like national push. We don't get advertised on AMC or Netflix or wherever it's been over all the years, Amazon. We're just relying entirely on the fans who have, like Nathan said, you pass us on, you pass us on. And I think what has changed for me now, at least, is that we're starting, we're coming up to 20 years, and there's this resurgence and an expectation. But I'm seeing more and more with each passing year that the film is starting to cross over into that like Rocky Horror Picture Show sort of type of a cult mentality where people, even if they've seen it before, will show up for screenings to watch it for the 19th time. People know the lines. They, like people when Leslie says Paradise Lost and you're in a theater full of people at a screening at a convention or something like that, a lot of those people will shout found it, and it's like it's starting to happen where it's becoming a cult thing like Rocky Horror was. And I think that blows me away, first of all. But again, it's back to the point, like we're so incredibly grateful. And that's not empty words. So grateful to the fans who have kept the drumbeat going for 20 years, because we would not be here without you guys.
With the 20th anniversary coming up, are you guys planning anything?
I mean, we're definitely aware of the urgency, and that we have a moment right now. We are doing everything we possibly can to deliver. We have to. We owe it to the fans to do everything humanly possible to get a sequel up on its feet. To try to get it launched on the 20th anniversary. It's a foot race. I mean, and we're already November 2025, so we're running out of runway. But I can promise you, we are doing everything we possibly can. And I'm always really worried and reluctant to say this because we have cried wolf an awful lot in 20 years. There have been attempts to do sequels before, and Nathan and I have all, we've given interviews, and Nathan gets asked about it at conventions every single time. So, I'm reluctant to make any, explicit promise. But yeah, we have to. We have to cash in on this opportunity. 20 years.
I didn't even mean anything about the sequel either. Like once we stop recording, I want to run something by you real quick.
I think Dave and Nathan, I think because it's built such a cult fan base, the fans, including the three of us, we're going to be so excited, even if there's something just talked about from directors, writers, etc. about it. Because it means so much to the fans. But, like I'm just trying to
want
say,
you
like,
to get
they're
excited.
gonna be.
We want you to get excited because that helps us.
I feel
on the
like
back end.
anything that's gonna get put out just from the passion that I've heard from Ian and Colby and other people about this movie, anything that comes out about it for the 20th anniversary or anything else, people are gonna be so excited. They're gonna be so excited.
Well,
Absolutely.
when we get a sequel up on its feet, and I mean, again, I will continue to try until I can't try anymore. But when we do, and there's a sequel, and it's announced, and you guys get to roll credits on it. We will, every single horror fan out there should feel like, yes, we did it. And it's going to be, the congratulations should be to the horror fan base for willing it to happen. Because that's kept me motivated. It's kept me motivated. Like if there was no cult sort of following like this, I would just be sort of a sad reflection of a screenwriter who'd be like, well, no, I need to write another one because I had a chance 20 years ago. But it's not that. I feel like I have an obligation to deliver, and that is so rewarding. It's nerve-wracking. It's a lot of pressure, but it's also the luckiest problem in the world.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I have full confidence. I've been waiting for a sequel for 20 years. I have full confidence that it's still going to happen.
Don't put that pressure on it. I'm only
nah.
waiting like a year, so you could take whichever one you want. So
it doesn't. Even if it's not the 20th year, I have confidence one is on the way. It's going to happen. Because I know the three of us will do everything we can to do whatever we need to do to help to make that happen.
Oh, there's other people with hundreds of thousands of followers too that are like ride or die for this movie that will get the word out as well.
Yeah. So when the sequel comes, can you give us any tidbits on what we can expect from the sequel?
I can tell you what, Scott and I and Nathan's been involved in this too. I mean, we've all been so close. Like the experience of that film created essentially a family. Like Nathan's one of my best friends in the world. And, Ben and Britton and Nathan and I would play Dungeons and Dragons together. Like, Angela is someone who I've been in touch with, for 20 years. So I think part of the creative process has been a very collaborative. Like, Scott and I are in communication all the time about how could we do this? We're aware of the ticking clock. And, I'm constantly bouncing ideas off of Nathan and Angela. Because I think it's really important. We have a bunch of people who have lived this story and lived these characters for 20 years, right? So I can tell you that the focus, the drive of it is how do we recapture the metaphor that we captured in 2006, 2007. I just said 6-7. Oh God.
Oh no. Let just tell you, David, we have been trying to figure out what that means for months.
We're just trying to bring 69 back.
We've tried to figure it out. Asked AI. We can't figure it out.
The brain rot. That's what it is.
Can't figure it out. So.
But the metaphor is what I was getting at, is that we wrote a story that resonated because it was a young artist's struggle. It was my struggle as a screenwriter, Nathan's an actor, Scott is a director. How do we recapture that? But it's what's the reflection for an artist looking back on a career where maybe they didn't have the type of success that they thought they were going to have? How do you define success? Leslie pulled it off one time. Has he been forgotten? Is he a one-hit wonder? Does he want to come back again? What's he been doing? Like, these are the things. So I can't really give any tidbits, but I can tell you that the challenge, and I think we think we have it figured out, is how do you make the metaphor relevant again for somebody at the end of a career versus the beginning in broadest strokes.
I love it already.
Yeah, I was gonna say that sounds so cool. Because I'm already thinking in my head, like, I wonder which way it's gonna go, and I'm gonna theorize so much.
Well, the other challenge is how would you get Taylor and Leslie back in the same room again, right? Like what has transpired in 20 years? Like, what's the nature of that relationship? Given the chemistry between them, but also given how it ended, right? So that's been another challenge. Is like, how do we do this? Have them not kill each other. So, but I'm excited. We're circling around a pretty good sense of what we need to do, and now it's just execution and then financing.
But I know that you had the crowdfunded one years and years ago. Now that was kind of the beginning of crowdfunding. So now with a lot of other indie films' success in doing crowdfunding and the kind of horror voice on social media, is that a route that you would think about going again, trying to crowdfund for the sequel, or are you looking at other avenues?
I mean, that's honestly, with all, all humility in the world, that's Scott. I mean, Scott was the
Okay.
producer on the first one, and he's obviously going to direct what is what I can produce as a script. But I think right now the hope is that there are a lot of changes in the business model now. You don't necessarily have to go get Warner Brothers signed on to it, or you don't, and not everything in the world needs to go through Netflix. Like there's a lot of sort of I don't know, not even second tier, but like upstart production companies and entities who are thinking way ahead of the curve, and there's a lot of different distribution models out there. Scott has a company called Gather, GATHR, Gather.com, which is basically it's how can you stream your film directly to your viewers, like cutting the studio system out of it entirely. So it's fascinating to me that well, I mean, in a perfect world, it would be a sort of a heavier weight production entity with some distribution experience and production experience with some clout behind them. Like that's the best case scenario. Because frankly, we're not going to be a Universal movie. It's just not going to happen. But short of that, if that doesn't pan out, then yeah, the fact that we have more fans now than ever is certainly pretty fertile soil. But that's
Absolutely.
it's not quite in my wheelhouse for that particular responsibility yet. So we'll see.
Oh yeah. And Nathan, I got to ask.
But if anybody has like a couple $1 million laying around and they just want to, finance it independently,
we'll take it.
DM me.
Yeah. If I had it, it'd be yours, but I unfortunately do not.
What?
Right?
I can try to
I
get
know.
a loan.
Nathan's like, this is the reason we came on this
What
podcast.
What
I
are we
know.
even talking
What are
about?
we doing here?
It's my
We
bad.
came here to ask because we wanted that.
For a small loan of a couple $1 million. But Nathan, I want to ask you, now after 20 years, getting back into that character, is there like one thing from the first movie that you didn't get to do that you would love to get to do in a sequel as Leslie Vernon?
I had a lot of opportunities to be I love physicality. And there were a lot of opportunities to play with physicality in the film, but yeah, I would love to have really, really complicated, thoroughly choreographed but not feeling choreographed combat sequences. I love combat especially, and I've had a few opportunities in my training and in my career to really just go for it, and yeah, it would be really cool to have a chance to do something that feels reckless and dangerous and shouldn't at all be advised, but we do it anyway.
So Leslie Vernon hanging out off the side of a jet, is that what you're thinking?
It's like Mission Impossible.
Something like that. Yeah, something like that. So running on a rooftop and breaking my ankle, that kind of thing. I could break my ankle running on the ground. At this age, it's just, my window's getting it's closing. So if we're gonna, abuse this body, we better get to it.
That is exactly what Leslie Vernon would say.
I feel like Nathan's just Leslie Vernon, like all the time. And it would break my heart if he wasn't.
Maybe without all the murdering.
Yeah.
But the embodiment of the character,
Like
yeah.
that wasn't even acting. Like that's just Nathan.
I do a lot of lurking. I'm a lurker. I tend to kind of, pace a lot in conversations with people. I don't plant myself as much as I probably should. Yeah. I'm standing outside your window right now.
Again?
I was trying to think of something witty to say to it, and I couldn't, so because it was perfect. Oh, that's awesome.
Colby, you have any other questions?
I was just about to ask if you want to get into our 2 favorite questions.
Oh, yes. It's been a while.
boy.
Go ahead.
Mhm. You want me to do the first one?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So if this could be for both of you, if you guys had an unlimited budget, the rights to anything, what is something that you would remake or make a sequel to? The answer better be Behind the Mask too.
That would be up there, sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Titanic 2. No.
Yes, I love Titanic.
Jack's back.
Jack's back. Yeah.
What is that
Still
from?
sinking.
Still sinking.
You know what? Honestly, I've been carrying this horror nerd fantasy. I would love to have had the chance to take a crack at one last Nightmare on Elm Street. Having been around Robert now, off and on over the years, and what an incredible actor and person he is. Like, that's well documented. But being around him and having the honor to say I feel like I kind of got to know him a little bit, and have him be a little bit of a mentor. Like, to me, I was always like, God, I wish I could have taken a crack at one more like full blown Robert as Freddy, swan song for Robert the actor. That's if I had all the money in the world, I would do that.
I love that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good answer. I'll go with that.
Easy.
Yeah. And then our other question. So we typically, when we have guests, it's very, indie filmmakers, many of which are, we know already that we're friends with. So this question's, I feel like you're maybe too high up for this, but we always say,
shoot your shot.
Yeah, shoot your shot. If you ever need to kill people off in a movie, you're looking for corpses, hit us up. We love playing dead bodies in movies. So
that was actually one of the clever offerings that we did for when we were raising money for the crowdfund. The sequel crowdfund was I don't remember what tier it was, but as you go up the tier, your involvement could raise to the level of getting killed off. I think it was maybe just the more spectacular kill was, the progression.
And one of the things that, if I, sort of similar answer, but if I had my way and I was able to get the sequel up the way I wanted it to be and all that stuff, one of the recurring themes that I think is in it is that the residents of Glen Echo, really, if you carry the metaphor out, the residents of Glen Echo are kind of, to me, representative of the Leslie Vernon fans. It's you guys. Like, you're the people who live in Glen Echo, the people who remember Leslie Vernon, who are either worried about him coming back or almost kind of want him to come back.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that analogy is that those would be you guys. And if it's going to happen and we need to kill a bunch of people in Glen Echo again, to me, it would be great to have cameos from, indie horror journalists and the people who've been super supportive over the years. Like, that would be the ultimate way that I would love to be able to give back. It would be like, we have a super fan, a guy named Danny Foster, who is one of the best human beings alive and is constantly organizing events and showing up and touting Behind the Mask. Like, to me, to be able to kill Danny on camera would be like, that would be a dream come true for me, and he would love it. So it's like, that's I hear you, and we it's you're not putting that request on deaf ears. That's all I'll say.
I appreciate that. But yeah, we'll get it wrapped up here. So Nathan, David, I just want to thank you for taking time out to come hang out and chat with us. Like, this has been amazing. I told Colby earlier that if I had told myself 15 years ago that I'd be chatting with David and Nathan from Behind the Mask, like, I would not believe it, because it's literally one of my favorite movies ever.
We were fanboying pretty hard on the phone earlier.
Like, this has been absolutely incredible, and I can't thank you both enough for taking time out.
Yes, thank you guys.
Thank you for the love, and thank you for keeping the love alive and passing it along.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks.
And again, I'm very confident we are going to get a sequel. but anything that we can do to help make that happen, please let us know. Like I said, our voices are pretty loud on social media. We've gotten things accomplished before, and we can absolutely do it again. So we will do anything we can to make this happen. But again,
We'll be in
thank you.
touch.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But yeah, I will put all the information in the show notes. But yeah, we'll wrap it up here. So thanks again, guys. We appreciate it.
What if everything you know is someone else's dream?
There you go. That's it.